Hi, Kevin. Your friends call you KO, but I want to give you the opportunity to share something really important with us all today. It's been an emotional day already. It's the beginning of Hurricane Florence. It's just starting to reach North Carolina now. And this past 6 months has been its own hurricane for you, its own emotional ride. And today marks a very special 6 month anniversary of something I want you to share if you want to.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all you do and have done and continue to do to help people like me. Today marks 6 months that I have been off opioids, specifically Vicodin, from a car accident that I was in back in 2009. So it's been quite a few years of ingesting that poison.
And what happened in that car accident that enabled pharmaceutical drugs to be the next step?
Yeah, so the car accident was sort of an interesting one and somewhat ironic. I was in the back seat of a taxi cab with a good friend of mine, and a car ran a red light and hit us head on, and it messed us up pretty bad. My friend suffered a broken wrist and a broken hip. I had a pretty bad injury to my head. It was split pretty wide open right there. 3 elbow surgeries, 1 hand surgery, lots of physical therapy and rehab later. Was introduced to Vicodin for the first time in my life, and started out as a very small dose per day of 1 to 2 pills as needed, which ended up growing into a much bigger problem. And as we all know, you have to take more to feel the same effects from it to help with the pain. So it just sort of snowballed from there.
So 6 months ago, you woke up like the other days of the previous years, and what was your different thought process that day?
Yeah, rewind a little bit before that. I was talking to the doctor that was giving me these pain pills and was saying, hey, I need to start tapering off this stuff. It's wrecking my body. It's wrecking my mind. And they didn't really want to help as much as I think they should have. So I sought another primary care physician who was all about helping me taper off of them. And so that began probably, this was 9 or 10 months ago. It was a few month process of starting to slowly taper off. And
at the time that you started tapering, what was your allotted dose
so
per month?
yeah, things grew from 60 pills a month up to 150 pills a month of 7.5 milligram Vicodin, which also has acetaminophen in it, which we know that's really great for your liver.
Never mind your liver.
Yeah. So it grew into taking 5 pills a day, every day. I would start out my morning by taking 2 pills in the morning just to get up and get out of bed and try to get going. You know, maintaining a job and taking care of everything as well as I could throughout that whole process.
You know, I think so highly of Kevin's resilience and ability to have the courage to choose a different path and a different route. And, you know, this is not an easy choice. And this is a really slippery, sliding slope once it takes you, and it doesn't have any kind of roadblocks as to socioeconomic status, color, age, sex. It is completely on its own route and can rewire a brain in a heartbeat. And the day that you chose to, you know, they say go cold turkey, so to speak, was the end of a journey and the beginning of a new one. And at that point, where was your headspace, and what were you thinking? What gave you the courage, the faith, the resilience to do this?
Well, ironically, seeing all the information in the media about what a crisis this had become, I didn't see it as such a It's a global epidemic. I mean, it's of course bigger in the United States. We're one of the we consume 90% of the world's Vicodin. I've heard that thrown out somewhere. Not sure if that's exactly right, but just really was tired of being sick and tired. You know, it's this is medicine that was supposed to help me, and it only compounded. You had to start taking more and more, and it's tough. I mean, it's seeing the stories in the media and people that were overdosing, and there were some famous people that, you know, I think really brought it to light with the Tom Petty situation and Prince. You know, there were opioid-based medications that they were under a doctor's care, and it killed them. And that's not the outcome that I wanted. I have more life to live and can be a productive member of society, and hopefully through what you and I have done together up to this point is helping some other people and see that there is hope out there, and that you're not stuck just doing that. And there are other options out there for you if you seek them, find the right people.
Thank God for your courageous medical doctor that took you on when you decide to veer in a different direction from the previous medical doctor's advice. Yeah. And I think you probably had the courage to throw away some pills that day and go into a state of short-term hell. Was that accurate?
Very much so. Very much so. Even with the tapering, I think mentally and physically, once you finally get down to the last pill or two you're taking for each day, eventually you've got to pull the Band-Aid off, and just, you're going to go through some suffering for a few days, really, of your body just trying to adjust and the withdrawals from it. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. It's tough, but seeing the light at the end of the tunnel is great, especially when you know it's not a train, where you used to think it was a train. But
that's right.
Yeah, it's.
How was your body different 6 months ago?
Wow, health-wise, I was about 35 pounds heavier than I am now. Lazy, a lot of fat. I mean, I really wasn't active whatsoever, which also affects your mental abilities and happiness and health mentally. So absolutely, that was part of it. Changed up my diet. Originally, I wanted to have better fuel to give me the energy to do what I wanted to do while I was going through the change of getting off of the Vicodin. So I started doing some kettlebell workouts, just bought the 20-pound one off Amazon and was, you know, just swinging it around a little bit, watching some videos on YouTube, and progressively got better with that, using heavier weights, and felt like exercising finally for the first time in almost 10 years. When I look at that, I think like my 30s were just part of them a blur from the pharmaceuticals. So yeah, I started doing that. Recently got into cycling. So getting some cardio mixed in with the kettlebells has been fantastic as far as mental health, physical health, losing weight.
You're a natural. I see your postings about 30 miles done in one day. You know, that's the usual for you now.
Well, it's funny. Back in the end of August, I turned 42, and I don't know what made me do this, but I rode 42 miles on a bicycle on my 42nd birthday. And if somebody would have told me 6 months ago I would have done that, I would have bet them $1 million. I mean, there's no way I would have ever done that. But
how did full spectrum hemp play a role in that?
So that was sort of when you and I met. We had a friend in common that told me about you, and I was interested to find out more about CBD from somebody that knew a lot about it and was a professional. And I knew it would help with some inflammation, anxiety, which I think some of the Vicodin had caused quite a bit of that. I'm usually not a very anxious person, but wanted to find something naturally to sort of bridge that gap while I was continuing to fully get off of the pain medication. And it's helped me tremendously. I look forward to the morning and evening when I take my doses of it, and it's natural. That's the thing that I didn't want to get off of one pharmaceutical just to get onto another one. It's nice to be able to say that I'm not on any pharmaceuticals at all now for any reason. I haven't had to go to a doctor in almost 6 months. I mean, it's just I count myself very lucky to have found you and found a natural way to combat this.
And I think now you're diving in more into understanding what activating the endocannabinoid system can really do for you, and knowing that it's the number one way that our body balances our neurotransmitters is really a big key to not needing to go back to the old addiction. There's not a need for it. Doesn't mean that there wasn't an addiction there that is healing every single day. But from what you tell me, you're telling me that your body feels a lot more in balance, in homeostasis. And you've been also explaining to me that you don't remember feeling so much joy as you felt in the last month.
Yeah. I don't think I was capable of feeling that level of joy previously. I mean, you've seen me go through the whole journey. So even like 2 or 3 months into it, I'm like, okay, I'm not on pain medication anymore. Why has everything not gone back to how it should be? You know, and the truth is, this addiction and this problem didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to be fixed overnight. So it's taught me a lot about patience and just trying to look at the big picture and realize, you know, there are going to be struggles and there are going to be good days and bad days, but the good days way better than anything in the past 9 years, really.
And you're busy filling up your tank again. You're filling up all your receptors. Yeah. You are balancing your dopamine and serotonin each and every day, every step that you take, the sleep that you've regained, the nutrition that you're regaining, the ability to have strengthened your body to a point of being able to do 42 miles on a bike on your 42nd birthday. So, you know, it's everyday steps that when you look back at 365 steps, we'll be celebrating that day too.
Most definitely.
That's a lot of changes in a 1 year, you know, and right now we're at the 6-month mark, and what a day to celebrate. And, you know, are there some other pieces that you would love to share with somebody that might be going through similar journey and struggle, perhaps a word of hope or faith that would give them strength to make that choice today?
Definitely. Help find an advocate, whether it's a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, somebody that you can trust in, that believes in you, that you can still get better. I think finding the right healthcare providers or natural medicine is really important. Even finding the right vitamins and supplements that your body has been depleted from taking, you know, pain medication like that. It's something I didn't even realize was going on, and how important supplements and vitamins and, you know, CBD can be in getting you back to a level place where you feel like changing your life for the positive.
CBD is one of over 100 cannabinoids that are activating Kevin's endocannabinoid system right now. And, you know, it gets the most attention and fame at this moment. What I really love to express to people is how much healing can happen with that whole plant, even without THC in it. So there is no psychoactive qualities to the products that Kevin is taking. And that's really important in this situation, I think, for him to really feel his whole mind, the mental capabilities as they are. And also you're feeling what cannabis without THC can do for you in a healing modality, along with, you know, all the other measures that you're taking for yourself. You know, what would help lift up somebody if you think back to those moments where you chose to do this journey versus the one that you were on? You know, what could you say to somebody to make them feel that that was important today?
I think for me, I knew that was continuing to go down a dark path. Like I knew if I kept doing the same thing over and over, I was going to get the same result. And that was not the result that I wanted. So I really had to look outside of myself, really, and just sort of see what's working for other people. And I just started Googling things, really. I mean, just sort of started looking to alternatives of how to get off of pain medication. And, you know, of course, everything you read is get the help of a primary care physician, somebody that's, you know, going to medically help you get off of that, because it's a difficult thing to get off of. But, and I'd share this with you as well. I had looked at the rehab part of things, going and checking into somewhere into rehab to medically getting off of a medicine that was given to me by a doctor.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny. How much was that going to cost?
Yeah, so that was going to be about $14,000 out of pocket, and that's with insurance. That was going to be for like a 45-day stay. So I started thinking to myself, okay, if that's the budget I'm working with, what else can I do to try to get off of this and to feel better?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did acupuncture and massage and started taking supplements and just really looking at any alternative medicine that wasn't going to continue to put poison in my body. Was the most important thing for me.
Did chiropractic play a role in your rehab?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Realizing, not knowing how my body had completely gotten out of whack. And you've helped me a lot with that as far as adjustments. It's amazing, like how much better you can feel. And that's natural. That's not even taking anything. I mean, it's just movement of your body and getting things realigned and finding that center again, I think is the biggest thing for me. Is I was so far off center that there's so many parts of my life I have to look at to get back to that center point. And physically, mentally, chemically.
Yeah. And it seems like a dimmer switch. I express that a lot to my patients about the dimmer switch. It wasn't that you were broken, is that your dimmer was down at maybe 20% function of your innate intelligence, your innate light. You know, you've really cranked that dimmer up recently.
Yeah. The whole the wet blanket, I never really understood what that was years and years ago, but then lived it, and now I can look back on it and see that's exactly what it was. It was like you were being weighted down by something that you didn't have any control over. I mean, you felt hopeless, I think, is probably one of the most important things to get across. But that there is hope, and there are people out there that actually care about you and your health, and they want you to be the best version of you can possibly be.
You know, I really, really thank you for being raw and vulnerable with me today to share this story with others so that we could together hopefully just help even just one would really matter, wouldn't it? And
Absolutely.
It's not like very many people knew this side of you or knew what you were suffering. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the stigma of it. I mean, you don't want to tell people about it. There are not a lot of people that know besides my close inner circle. And I think it's an important enough topic that so be it. Let everybody know. I'm okay with that.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. This is, you know, it's such an epidemic at this point in time, and it takes courage with people like you to express the story of, you know, it could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could happen to my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, you know. And it takes a village, doesn't it,
It really
to
does.
regain your center.
Yeah, it really does. I just want to express my thanks to you for all you've helped me with and the guidance you've given me. It's been life-changing. It really is.
Happy anniversary, Kevin. May this day be long-lasting in your memory, and I can't wait to celebrate 7 months.
Me too. Thank you, Puja, so much.
Bye, KO.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.